So yeah, so now let's get down to the nitty-gritty because this was a big event that your eyes witnessed. Talk about Labor Day parade when Gordon battled Bruck up.
Hmm. You want to what you want to be precise? Like the year '97, definitely the year.
Yeah, get to it. Get
Um,
to it.
um, yeah, '97. At that time, Ruckup was like at his at his high. Like everybody still trying to figure themselves out, but they at that time really kind of had they who they were. So like I said, we moving around. We 13. We moving around. Labor Day was a crazy thing back then. June Balloon and Labor Day was a crazy thing. So around that time, Bobby Comics and Java, that was just picking up on the radio. So they had a float out there. They had the Caribbean, how they had the Trinidadian float, they had the Jamaican float. So I'm not, I want to say he was either he was probably on the Jamaican float. I want to say that. But yeah. So, at that time, everybody, they dancing. We coming down Easter Parkway. So, you holding on to the float, but we had dancers going already going crazy in the circle right
Mhm.
next to the float. So, you got dancers on the ground dancing. So Gordon giving it to a couple dudes. So Bruck up, he's on top of the float. So as he on top of the float, people, they look and they acknowledge who he is. So now, the fed up rhythm came on. So he see how Gorton going crazy. So the float didn't stop. So now Gorton, he looking up at Gorton. I mean, he looking down at Gorton, you know what I'm saying? So he pointed down at him, down, in the crowd. So mind you, like we all together too. Like back then, when you go on to Labor Day, you gotta come with a crew. You can't be like two man, none of that. You gotta come at least 15, 20 deep. Everybody know that. Regular clothes, you're gonna be powdered up, dirty, nasty, whatever. So you regular crazy. But anyway, make a long story short, Bruck up called Gordon on the float. So mind you, this is the first time, we ever seen a dude like, you know what I'm saying, like ever firsthand, like actually like on a float. So, but every year they used to have celebrities come through there. So I guess, that year, Brucker was one of the main,
Yeah,
stars
Bruck up
that was
was
there.
on fire that year.
Yeah, he was on fire. So, every year Labor Day, they always had celebrities come through there on the float. So that year, Brucker was there. And then everybody knew Tommy was crazy. That was definitely top tier gear at that time. You had to have that Tommy on. So, he was over there. He was over there when he had all the Tommy on to my Brucker. So go and get up on the float. So now it's like, the DJ cuts the music down. That's when, him and Gordon, they looking at each other. Then that's when the DJ turned the tune up. Then that's when Bruck up, how he make the face, blew the little, the blowfish face, and then, he started to get low. So that's when Gordon started, he started to put his little work in. That's when he started to give it to him. So it
Really?
was, it was just, but it was it was when Gordon started busting. That's when Bruck up, that was his big thing. Take the rib, pull the shirt up, show the ribs. So Gordon did the same thing. So when he did that, it's like, everybody they stopped, blew on. You already know how they doing with the horns and all. They're going.
Mhm.
So that was a big highlight for us. Like before the phones, before all that, like you never heard nobody. Even it's crazy how you hear stories. Everybody, I battle him, I battle him, but you ain't battle him in '97 when he first hit the states on a
Mhm.
float. So like that's something that I never would forget. Like I remember, like when he did that, we felt like the man. We came back to the hood. Yo, he just battled Bruck up, or the Busta Rhymes video, da 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 da, with the funny hair, da da da. So that was the, you know what I mean? Like we little niggas. So you see that we big headed. We running word of mother. We running yo real talk, man. After yo, that's when Labor Day, no bullshit. That shit used to be from like 12 in the morning in the afternoon to like 8, 9 o'clock at night. Like I said, we used to leave. I used to get home about 9 o'clock at night, 10 o'clock. I used to be
Mhm.
damn near coming back from Labor Day parade. But at those times, it was just golden. And something like that you can never make up or you can never say you can forget. Feel what I'm saying? So it's just dope. It's just dope though now that he's in our history now, as in hands on. conversation, stuff like
Yeah.
that. Even if you don't have as good memory, it's like certain people ain't gonna forget certain type of history. And that right there was legendary. Like, nobody, even if people say, bro, I just can't believe it. Like, not from what I saw. I know my man battled him, but I don't believe that you battled him. You feel what I'm saying? And it's not
So,
shooting shots at nobody. You feel what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, as in, I don't believe that what other people say. You know what I mean? It's not for previous interviews or nothing like that or nothing crazy. It's just I know from firsthand that I know my dog did it. And everybody wanted to be on the bandwagon. It was a dope scene. So yeah, that's basically speaking of my truths as in that, you know.
a lot of people from your era rate Gordon in the four corners of Brooklyn. A lot, a lot, a lot. And while for some they may not feel the need or want to big up Gordon, important dancers from your era that a lot of people look up to, a lot of people revere and respect, they all talk about Gordon. All of them. Like, it seemed as if, in truth, what he did inspired a lot of people. A lot of people.
Let me tell you something, Swiss. Like, you see the narrative, like, if you say, yo, I was outside since 90, 93, 94, and you doing it to that time, 92, with other, but put it like this. You see the impact on his what people understand about how, Gordon, right? So you think he just did that within 2 years, 3 years? For real. Just think about it. You think he just sat there, all right, like with me, I ain't gonna front. Like his run was way longer than my run. He the one that brung me out, like as in this is something that'll bring, I ain't know it was gonna be on this big platform the way it is now, but it's like at that time, it's like those things right there that really made you stand and sit in a certain, people respected that. Like, and like I said, dancing back then too, like no disrespect to people craft now, but it's like I really felt like people really more respected dancing then than now. The only thing that make it glow and make it stand out the way it is social media.
I say the same thing. That's why I
I
always
feel like it
said
was more
to,
appreciative then.
to me, I always said, based on my research and when I look close, like with a microscope close, a lot of dancers from back then in different spaces understood their superpowers. And especially when they got to know themselves as an individual, like they knew their star power. Like when I hear some of my elders speak, like a Sugar Pop and all the guys from Electric Boogaloos, and they tell me stories about when they met Michael Jackson and all this, and the demand that they had, like when you work with them, it wasn't no because you Michael Jackson, like I'm supposed to stand behind you. Like, yo, I'm me and I'm nice. And you called on me.
Right.
But when I stand next to you, it's
Mm-hmm.
shoulder to shoulder. Forget all that. I'm supposed to be like
Mm-hmm.
quote unquote like your little homie. Homie, remember in this world of dancing, you not the big fish. You big fish on stage when it come to entertaining the world. We give you credit for that. Just remember though,
Mm-hmm.
and you um innovating, and reintroducing yourself based on reinvention, just remember where you coming to. So don't ever think that we're gonna like reduce ourselves to be small just to make you feel big. No, we coming to you big and we're gonna remind you that we big. And that's what I love about a lot of dancers back then, that they were confident in that. Like, yo, what? Oh, nobody even care for you if you even don't if you never come back. We still gonna be that big over here.
Right, 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 right. That's what the impact, like I feel like that's how it was with, when we came up as kids running in the hood, like in the style, like, it was just acknowledgement, man. Like, when you go places and stuff like that, like like I said, for me dancing on the train to like I was getting ignited. Like I said, I took it so serious, like everywhere I went, like the subway era and all that, like you're on the train and people seeing you do the dance, and it's like, yo, they used to always ask you, like, what is that? Like, oh, that's the Bruck up. So, for example, like when you go to the Bronx back then, so when I used to go to the Key, I went to the Key like twice or whatever. It was just straight boogie dance, like So when you go up there, it's a total different type.
Yep. So you was pretty much saying before the session cut, you used to go to the key.
I only went up there twice.
Okay.
Yeah, I only went up there twice. I went up there twice.
All right.
So,
So now this is a very important moment, especially for an individual like yourself who, again, participated in a lot of the Bedstuy events, participated in a lot of, the genesis of Bruck Up, and Dancehall and everything that it had to offer playing a part in Brooklyn. Based on some of the narratives that you've heard out here from some of your peers, and you being able to witness their growth, some of their genesis and some of their, identity explosion where they start taking off and, getting busy left and right.
mhm.
Like, based on what you know to be true and your peers, like, I'm gonna just throw names out there and you tell me based on what you know to be true, who had summers, who had year runs, who had, who really had the game on smash. So
What's summers? How many summers you talking? 4 summers, 2 summers,
We
half
about
a
to we
summer,
about to find out. Like I said, I'm gonna just throw names out there, and you
no
necessarily
summer.
keep it 100 and let it be known. All right, so
Um,
let's start with your partner in crime, Gordon.
sh- nigga has shit, man. This nigga had like, man. This nigga had like at least eight summers of strong.
Mm,
All right, real serious shit. I get a nigga at least like 6 summers strong. Pause no diddy strong. But like I said, he been outside before me, so he been
right.
doing this. As in
Okay.
under my umbrella, because like I said, I'm yeah, I'm under him within that period of time, so I know what's going on out there
Mm.
for
All right.
sure.
Roshan, aka Ski Bashman.
You know what's so crazy? I can't really speak too much on him as in his summers, but as in him being around me, I give him about a good 3.
Mm,
But the tapes itself shows, so it's like he's still active. So he go from the streets to the stage. So it's like he on a different type of platform. So it's like even his summers goes into like he's part of the trend.
right.
So he's one of the top fronts. So it's like
Okay.
he went from on concrete, to the stage. So it's like, that's like you told me, that's an extra,
Mhm. All
you know.
right. So Prince, aka Peanut.
Yeah, he had about 3, 4 summers. As
Okay.
in like on my radar. Matter of fact, he had more. I mean, like I said, you got to understand. I was going for 2, so he's still going. I mean, he's still going. So I give him like an extra. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? So he got summers over me. Like I was in 2 summers. You
Mm,
feel me? So even with him, same thing with Ski. Like them niggas got 2 summers. I'm locked in. So a lot of these niggas, like, they still going. Like, Black, he just coming home, but he still was like, he missed the summer, but he picked his 1 summer he missed picked up for the extra summers
oh yeah,
that
because by
carried
the
the whole
time
BSV on his back. You
BSV
see what I'm saying?
BSV was up. He was up on the dance tip.
Right. But it wasn't the whole group.
Um
Go on.
Darrell.
I give him about, when I got in the mix with him, I give him like 2.5. like two
Okay.
and a half.
Uh,
But 2.5 for like five though. His 2.5 for his 2.5 for like five. Why? Because he wanted everybody had.
mm,
He when he came over, like he wanted everybody head. Like I said, him and Enrique was already battling. So that's the thing. Like a lot of people saying like, oh, they have a big impact on the style. That's what I'm saying. Darrell from Albany Projects. What the how you know this nigga way over here from Ralph and Halsey? So you see how he was making his rounds? So
yeah.
once he got with me, it was like the blueprint. You see what I'm saying? He already trying to make his rounds over there. So at the same time, I'm making my rounds over there and over
Mm,
there on Rockaway Avenue. So that's when it called falling with Tor and all these people. See what I'm saying? So that's how the connects from four corners of the star and all that. Like a lot of people wasn't hitting it. You can't use a 2, 3, 4 block radius to say just because you had a big impact, you just have a big impact there, and you just went around the right people to make your name stick out to make it seem bigger than what it is. If you understand what I'm saying,
okay.
as opposed of you going around, really going around in these areas, right?
Um, Aku,
Oh, um, one summer,
Icky.
one summer,
Who else?
summer and a half,
Uh,
summer and a half,
who
like
else?
a summer and a half. Yeah, like a summer and a half. But like I said, when the time that me and Darrell and all of us really picked up, that was like '97. By '98, Icky and all of us, like Icky and myself, already running together. You know what I'm saying? At the same time, Darrell and them, they already over here with me. Like, so it's like, we all together, but it's like on different times. Like, you know what I mean? Me and Darrell rolling together, then I branch off from Darrell. I might go slide over there, fuck with Icky. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm playing ping pong.
Hmm. Okay.
That's just how the dancing thing go.
Okay. Well, everybody else that I would want to mention necessarily,
Came after 2002.
right. Yeah.
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 Careers, yeah.
And they
Yep.
respectfully to them, like a lot of them, at least the ones that's coming to my head, they definitely had more than 5 summers.
Hova, Hova, Hova had like, he was in the picture. Like I said, '98 Pobo was in the picture as in like he was like a startup kid, as in he was trying to create who he was, but he more definitely was trying to put that George Adam, everything that whole structure as in looking like him. But at
Yeah.
the same time, it was good. It
Because
was good.
I would sit here and say respectfully, again, like you just said, like after 2001, maybe two, um, I would definitely sit here and say Ghost, Poba, Hood, Blackie.
Well,
You know,
no, no,
they went
nah, Blackie,
even though there's
Blackie,
other
nah.
people, even though there's other people a part of BSV, the house of BSV. The reason why I named
Mm.
those four because they went different places beyond just the club and like BT. Like they started to make the rounds in different areas to the point where again, even if they themselves, let's say, wasn't participating in battles, at least they kept their name alive by reinventing themselves as like a business, a brand. So
Yeah,
the louds and the stuff
yeah.
like that. And that's why I'm
That
thinking,
was Albert. That was Albert investment as in dealing with Loud, but BSV and all that. They came to my house when they went to that what's that Spring Bling or some shit down there in Miami.
yeah.
They came to my crib. I could have been a part of that.
Mm,
They came to my house. Yeah, when they went to Florida, they came to my house and asked me if I wanted to go with them down there to dance in Spring Bling in Miami.
mm,
They spent the night at my house. When they went down, then they came back. Him, Pova, Albert, all of them. They came to my house. So Same thing with the Mr. Vegas video and all that other stuff you saw later on. Let's get to it before this gets short.
Yeah,
But
because
yeah,
they and that's what I
I
was
could have
saying.
been
And like
involved in all of it.
they was in the videos too. They did their
Yeah, I
video
could have been
runs.
in, yeah, I could have been in, I could have been involved in all of that. I just, like I said, I just chose to do something else. Like, that at that time, that wasn't really like, a major part of what I was trying to, be involved in. You feel what I'm
Right.
saying? Like I was still a part of it, but I had other things that was going on. So that's why, like, when people say, oh, he was around, but he wasn't, but it's like, I kind of was in the mix of all that. So it's like, I just chose not to be involved. Not saying like I'm taking credit from everybody, but don't make it seem like, oh, y'all was involved in this. And then it's like, I don't know what's going on. Like, but I was all the way in, like, so I just chose not to be. The guys, Blackie, all of them would tell you, like, I just chose not to be involved in it. But I thought that it, like, like I said, when you create something as a group or stuff like that, it's like, you rather for your guys to win. You feel what I'm saying? So
Respectfully.
that's how I was looking at it. So when it comes to the like, when you say I don't get mentioned or XYZ, I guess that's my bad. I should have went there to make more footage. But like I said, off what I put in the
Well, not
90s will
necessarily
always
just to
stand out
interject.
to.
I wouldn't necessarily say it's about the thing of making more footage. I think like you just said just a few seconds ago, where it's like you wanted to see your peers win. These are people that necessarily, come from you. They build with you, and you saw them when they were, not as established as you. And then when they will go on to be so, you want the best for them. And then in the midst of them, growing and becoming better, they're able to tell their story. And it's just that again, in the midst of them telling their story, it's like, why do you feel that, yo, it's cool in their mind, where it's like, yo, we're not gonna mention Mike. I would believe that, yo, just naturally, if you care that much about your story being official tissue to the point that nobody could necessarily want to point a finger at you and say, yo, how could you? It's like I think you would want to say, yo, big ups to such and such, big ups to such and such, big ups to such and such. Because
I
it don't
know
take
too
away
much.
nothing from you.
I know too much. You gotta understand, like when you know too much and you try to be too much of a face, it's like, that's what I'm saying. Like
But that's what's hurt. But
that,
that's the hurting part because
it don't hurt me.
no, not
It don't.
you. Not
Yeah.
it's not about hurting you. I'm talking about for them.
Oh,
Because
okay.
in a sense where it's like you go on to, build yourself up and your story starts to be limited in a sense of what you want them to know. And then when it comes down to a person doing that, it's like you leave room for people who know you well to say, yo, it's sad that you moving like that. Because why would you think that it was okay for you to just say, oh, hey, like, oh, the way I came up in dancing is I watched a bunch of Michael Jackson videos and I blew up. You know what I'm saying? Versus it's like, well, outside of watching the Michael Jackson videos or MC Hammer videos or the a genuine video, Bobby Brown video, it's like, yo, there was a Mike. There was this person, there was this person, there was this person. They were all advanced at different things, and I was inspired by them to find myself and get this together. Like that don't take away nothing from you just to acknowledge your surroundings and say, yo, there was some ill people doing what I do before I was ever doing it.
All right, I'm gonna fix this up for you and make you
I
so you
just
can get
think
it
people
clear.
just are very fearful for what? Especially when like they're not even in your line of work no more.
It's called, listen, bro. Like, you ever heard of your friends being inspired of you?
Inspired?
Like, you was ever inspired of a friend of yours?
Hell
You ever
yeah.
had a friend that you was very inspired of, but it's like hate at the same time? It's like,
Nah, I don't need that. I don't need
it's
that.
those. It's like
I
one of
still,
these. It's like,
yo, old friends that used to be around, I still give them credit.
see, that's the difference
I
between
still
you
give
and me.
them credit because
But
I
that's
don't
the
want
thing.
nobody
But that's
feeling like, oh, when they pull up, it's like, oh, you
but you
forgot
don't.
something. Forgot what?
But
I just
Swiss,
big you up and give you credit for what I know you
but
did.
Swiss. But this is what I'm saying, Swiss. But what I'm trying to tell you, that's good. But the truth hurts more than anything. You feel what I'm
But
saying?
that's what I'm saying. Like,
But
all right,
I did.
The question
Listen,
really
like
is, so
before
the
you.
question really is not towards you, just a general consensus. For any of you dancers out there that will watch this, if you're one of the dancers who have not honed in on and owned your truth, as in you're okay, you're comfortable with saying and acknowledging that yo, once upon a time you were trash, because everybody was trash. And at the same time, you watch somebody, whether they were close to you or they was from a distant land, somebody inspired you. What is so hard about necessarily acknowledging that? Why do you feel that in yourself? Because it's really something you feel and you think. Why do you feel and think that the day you acknowledge this person that you feel like you about to lose it all?
Because that's something that's what I'm saying. This is something that they was entitled to be. Like we're not only speaking for one person.
Insecurity is the
You
devil,
just
boy.
it's definitely. But my thing is that, bro, it's like this, man. It's something that a person always wanted, and it's something that they spent most of their time based on. So it's like if it's something that they always wanted from young, even from it's like a dream. That was one of their top two or whatever in their mind, as in this is something that they want to accomplish for them to move on, that help them in life. So other people have other ways of bettering their life instead of using this path or something that inspired them to be what they want to be, in part of their life. Now, for a person like me, like I said, a person like me, even if I do bring certain individuals, if you look at the people that's at their peak or whatever their career is, um, it was a lot of brutal in the beginning of their career. It's
Mm,
like, okay, like they was people was looking for handouts, and I brought more destruction than what it was, if you understand what I'm saying.
copy.
It's like they're trying to build just like how I built, like I said, but I built and caught on and I moved around and got my name in the way I moved the way I did. But for others, it was harder. It was little. So it's like when they was on their uprise, I brought other people and still outshined them as well. So it's like they're trying to get shine, but once you bring more people in to take their shine, it's like you're shit, you're ash, you're like you're back in the back again. So if you hear him in my backstory, like for example, it was a couple guys that was trying to learn in my hood. We ain't gonna name these guys. We're gonna just have them anonymous. But you bring two, three, four other guys from a different neighborhood to your neighborhood, and these guys got under you and they want to learn, and you ain't teaching them shit, but you got three, four of the nice niggas come over there. You know how that kills their reputation or ruthless they are. And mind you, especially if you sandbox friends, or it don't matter. Like it's just something. Like I said, this dance is something that you gotta catch a friend and catch a friend to learn to be something. So like I said, thank God I just jumped on the bandwagon fucking with G Baby. But a lot of people was trying to get around people to learn the exact dance. So if you bring other people around, you kind of like cutting their talent off too. It's like, damn, like I thought it was nice, but you brought nicer niggas around. It was one of those type of situations. So now I can't shine the way I want to shine. So now what people do, they sit there, they wait, years go by. I fall off, this person fall off, that person fall off. You still got this dude still breakdancing. You
And
still
it's
doing this.
crazy you say that because I've said that many times. I said, yo, when the elders, aka y'all generation,
Yeah,
when y'all sat there and respectfully bowed out and said, yo, we passing on the baton to y'all, we passing on this fire to you. While there are ones that respectfully took it, honored it, and kept the fire burning, kept y'all name alive, there were people that necessarily were waiting for you guys to disappear. Were you like, yo, the coast is clear? Oh, word. I ain't got to worry about he or she coming out maybe in the next 10, 20 years, 30 years.
yeah.
Oh, I'm about to run this lab and create a narrative that I created or I did
Mhm.
before this one or that one and these are the stuff that again in all my journey in this research, and that's why I said I found myself uprooting because it's like, yo, you really ran with this narrative? You really lied for 20 years? And now it's coming to bite you. Now you scrambling, trying to figure out, yo, how do I keep this alive? How do I not let the people see through me? And it's like, yo, just give it up. Just give it up.
A lot of that.
Just take your
That's why a lot
place.
of people is
Just take
fading
your
now.
place in history.
I mean, but that's just like, but if you look at it, even from my generation, like if you look at the time that it picked up from dancehall, reggae, all that, that was 10 years. So for example, if a person come on the back end and they still trying to learn and figure out their craft and they come right there on the new millennium, that was the main thing, the new millennium, but you still got the old piece. So it's like you sat there, you coach, you same thing what I'm saying. People got their notes, but at the same time, people got the curriculum, they got all that down pack, and they still don't look like what original 90s Bruck up looked like. So it basically you sat there in class and you flunked every summer just trying to, you being creative, but you still a flunky because you ain't open a new, even like real talk, like even if I came in like that and I opened up a new lane, like, yeah, I'm gonna show myself as being the face, but it's how the way you go. Like I said, you're not respecting the OGs, but at the same time, you still don't hold weight as a heavy hitter. So even if you say you the face, you still ain't a heavy hitter because you got people that's coming behind you that's giving you a problem. So if you're an OG heavy hitter or somebody like that, you shouldn't have no problem with these little niggas that's coming behind you. They it should come into what I just said. Get them up out of here. Get them up out
Get
of here.
him
Get them up
out of
out of here.
here,
But nah,
cause
see, that's the
I've been getting
generation.
him out of here, bro.
Get them up out of here, right? Right. So if
Get
you
him up
wasn't
out
built
of
from my
here.
cloth, like what I've been saying for the last 20, 25 years, if you ain't built from my cloth, then you just wasting years of just being what you think you are. So that's when it come into like, oh, why Mike don't care? Why he's fit? Because I don't care. It don't matter. You could dance for the next 25 years. I don't care. It don't matter. It mattered then. Like, I don't care. We
Especially
set
when
this
you
up for
was in it.
you. When I was in there, I'm in there with the Sharks. I had to make my name. So if another OG if he know me, that mean I put enough stain in.
Whole fact.
You know what I'm saying? They don't know. They don't know. See, the thing is, we ain't in the same classroom. Like when you see me, you see how you said the heavy hitters and guys that's mentioned me. They ain't mentioning them other guys in the same class, right? No, it goes into the other class. What 2000 and up class?
Yeah, well, when they do mention them, it's more so like in the aspect of again passing on the
Being around it,
baton or um
being
somebody
around it.
that they believe is doing right by the curriculum that was handed to them. So it's not everybody because I done came across some receipts where again, even major heavy hitters from your era had an issue with certain people and how they told stories.
Because they ain't, you're not talking in your truths. And then, like I
Right.
said, a lot of stories people talk, it wasn't outside.
Because
So,
I could
like I said, I could
definitely
go
show you
block
some
party for
receipts
block
that I
party.
came
Like,
across later. Like I do a person interview and Jesus would just happen to reveal something to me. Like I just might type something in, do, 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 do. And Jesus like, look, and I would see it, read it, and be
yes, thing.
oh. I said, yeah. So realistically, like, I can see why to some degree, like y'all will have an issue with certain people because it's like they was sure as hell trying to remove y'all. Like if y'all the pillars, they was trying to remove y'all with everything in they life. Like, oh nah, we about to remove this and build up a new pillar that the generations to come, the new kids, the young kids, they're gonna look up to us. And
I
now
think
that, God would give me the privilege to necessarily, like I said, uproot the lies so the truth can shine and do what it's supposed to, these people are like very fearful. Like they running to do their best to try to, keep this narrative that they was pushing for so long. And it's just
Yeah,
like, yo, that's why I just sit here and I'm like, yo, the job wasn't necessarily to remove you from history, how they did their best to do to y'all. It was just, yo, I'm gonna remove the lies, and we're gonna necessarily keep you in your proper position that you hold in history. And that's
but
not even enough for them.
nah, because
That's
like I
not
said,
like they did great. Like I could sit here and say, yo, man, like when you did this, when you did this, when you did this, I think anybody who saw you do any of these things will give you a massive round of applause. It's just that, yo, why do you think that this here go with any of this when everybody else who predates you saw you? They
that's
saw
when
you.
it comes. But that's when, that's when I told you, bro, like it don't matter with me. Like with my history, I didn't, like I said, I put too much in. So people could fade on social media, XYZ, but like I said, like a party scenery or just a dance or just that type of structure. Like you will see the difference. So it's like, you got me on social media, but when we in this house, this dance whole house or whatever the environment is, I mean, especially in my hood, like, like, and it's not only for me, it's for other OGs that wasn't acknowledged. Like, perfect example, if they don't mention G Baby, but bet if them tunes playing on a block party, that circle will go around Gordon before them people that been out there dance for the last 20, 30 minutes. I
Mm,
mean, 30 years. You know what I'm saying? So, for example, if they say Gordon was washed up since the 90s, just on what he put in the impact in the parties and all that, what he did in the 90s, bet you if they put a set out there right now, they're going to big up Gordon more than anybody because off what he put in the 90s. And it's not even off the 90s because he did a lot in the 2000s too. It's
yeah,
just that,
definitely.
like I said, same thing with me. It's just, when we get into these parties in certain places, it's like, it just overpowers what people try to run. Like
Right.
when I used to come in the slaughterhouse, I went down south, I was gone for 3 years. I came back in the slaughterhouse. They treated me like I was God in that motherfucker. And these people I ain't seen in a minute. Like I ain't see people in about 6, 7, 8 years. So it felt like a lot of love, but at the same time, it just brought me back in my essence. Like, like, yeah, I put my foot down, stuff like that. As other dancers,
Right.
So my main thing, like you said, I'm speaking in my truths and as in what it was going on for me. So everybody know me in all areas in my area, like
Right.
what I put into it, So and I'm happy for it. So it don't matter if somebody blackball me, and like that's what you have to do to make you hot. It's like the real people know what it is. So it's like
But that goes back to especially when I would get like the content from individuals like yourself and I will reshare it. And to see Bedstuy show up for y'all, that's why I said, I think the illest thing ever is when the people show up for you. When the people show up for you. And when I saw that with individuals like you, Icky, Ski, when I would post the content up, people like, oh nah, son was dirty. This one, da da da, nah, they had the style on fire. I think that's one of the most illest thing because that means that there's no camera footage that you can hide that could stop a million people that was once alive or still alive to witness what they saw. And that's why I always say, like, one of the biggest recordings you'll ever have is the eyewitnesses of people,
but you see footage. But even with yeah,
the eyewitness account of people. So just imagine how many people saw Mike give it up on the dance floor. Like, what? And they're gonna be like, oh no, Mike was serious. Eyewitness
that's how it
account.
was though. Yo, what's
The
so
first
crazy?
camcorder is the eyes in the human brain.
That's a
Talk
fact.
about people reminding you, what? I saw it.
But that's how Brandon and Blackie had 324 though too. When I was going over there, yeah. Fulton all through Fulton, boys and girls, all that stuff. Like, Brent, like, I'm a spread that, I'm like Big Vel. I'm sprinkling on everybody. But this we're gonna cut it a little short, but you know, like, and that's what I was telling you too, though, bro. Like, I can't just keep highlights on the regular what you be hearing about, shout out to Ick and Ski and everybody, but I'm like, Brandon and Blackie, them niggas did some damage. Like them niggas
Right.
was there too. Like like real. And like I said, dealing with Brandino's situation, I felt bad because of his situation because like we already understand about what happened. Like
Yeah.
they took my man out too soon. Like where he was at, it was just like it was crazy. And like niggas just like bookworm. He had a little in like he was crazy, but like I said, a lot of people just took wrong direction. So when you say the two people, the three people that's trying to be the face of something, like I said, everybody going through their major problems. So it's like other people that's all they do. They could just dance all day. So
Mhm.
other niggas going through real life situations. So that's why the history is the way it is. You know what I'm saying? So, but it's cool because that's why I'm talking. You know,
Word. Well,
you know, yeah. So, like I said, stay tuned. Appreciate you, Swisso. It's gonna be this the first one. It's gonna be plenty more. So we couldn't really get to the nitty gritty, but we got down to the sauce and all that. Like I said, shout out to all dancers. Like I said, Icky my buzzard. I call them niggas like, everybody, my man. It's like, everybody they played the role with. Just like I said, some had short summers, some people they just had a short run. But like I said, even though if they short run, they had a big impact.
facts.
So
Facts.
that's all what really matter. Like, what I mean? We all was winners. You know what I'm saying? We all was equal. Like I said, ain't nobody better than nobody. It was all a team effort, man. So, all this talking about somebody this and that and the third, they gotta cut it out, man. You know. And like I said, I put all y'all together. So it ain't none of that talking about some, who shine more. We all shine. So, like I said, that's just the insight of the best story of, how all this came about, man.
Bedstuy. Bedstuy. Yeah, big ups to all the players in Bedstuy and all the ladies in Bedstuy, all the event planners in Bedstuy, everybody who made, you know, the legacy for y'all to necessarily do what y'all need to do on a large scale happen because again it was like every piece is important, every piece is important. So big ups to everybody who definitely played a part in making sure that y'all know y'all childhood, y'all childhood, y'all teenage years, even y'all early adult years was as fun as impactful in the midst of necessarily chaos, being on the four corners. So at the end of the day, it's like, you know, again, the genesis of it all. I mean, shout out to everything going on now, everything that's passed on. At the end of the day, like the genesis just in the midst of the genesis just sound dope. So that's why I love hearing it and hearing the people who really participated because
Crazy, man.
like for all, and it was
Beautiful.
crazy because when you really think about it in real time, while there's nothing new under the sun, a lot of stuff was being reinvented in a new way that y'all got it at a in a way where it's like yo, son, like it's like it was still formulating
Mm-hmm.
from gangbang culture,
Mm-hmm.
dancing, fat, like all this new stuff that the Lord is
Everything.
allowing to shape and take place and have its sector or whatever the case may be. It's like man, like it's like if this time in life was like a GTA map. Shout out to all the people who play Grand Theft Auto. If this was a
Mm-hmm.
new GTA map, it was just like, whoa.
Yeah. You might go to a party, get sliced in your face, bro. Like you going there to have a good time. At the same time, you might get raw for your jacket. At the same time, like that like 96 to 2000 was very rough, and you had to really like maneuver. Like what I mean, anything happen, get up out of there. Anything happen, like so just having that talent and like you said, moving around and you had to watch certain spots and you had to watch who like we had the roughest time, man.
Making it
It
out,
was rough.
it would seem as if
It was rough.
Making it out of the 90s was something to do.
I
Making
told you they
it
threw the
out
teach out
of
the
the
school.
90s was something to do.
I told you they threw the teach out the school right there on goddamn Rochester and Bergen. What's that? 293.
As
One
I'm
of them.
thinking about it, as we're
Oh, that's too
conversing, I'm
bad, man.
sitting there like, yo, it
It's
would
rough.
seem as if making it out the 90s was something to really do.
And try to have fashion with it, like you trying to keep your shit together. And then, like I said, everybody wasn't fortunate. So it's like, if you looked at like a bum, not to say it like that, like he was a bum. Like, so it's like, fuck it. You had niggas that like, I ain't gonna look like a bum. I'm gonna take this to look good to go there and be look like this. It just it was the transition. So the goody tootie, the goody kids turned into bad kids. Cause there was, you know what I mean? All that, like, everything was just crazy. Like, so it's like it's like basketball or some other shit. Like you really had to use your talent to get the hell up out of there. Like so
Mm.
real talk. Bruck up really was like a savior to a certain degree. I always said that. Like you don't want to be around certain things, so you might want to go and lab up, or you might want to like listen to music. Like music is like a scapegoat from certain things. So
Facts.
that was one of our ways of escaping from certain things. I really feel like if the dancing shit really wasn't involved in our life, it would have been even more crazy for us.
Mm. Yeah,
Hands
for
down, for
everything else
real.
that was going on for sure.
Yeah. You ain't had nothing else to do. I mean, basketball, dancing was the two priorities to do. Everybody ain't singing. I didn't had that in the armpit early on, but that changed real early. Like, you either a basketball player, a Harlem Shaker, or a Bruck upper. Harlem Shake was in the mix too, later on, but that was a trend as well too. But it just certain dances and everything just had a meaning to it.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So like I said, like I love the 90s. Like, even some of the two I could say like from the 90s all the way into like 2004. Like shit started to fade and get crazy after 2004. Like shit started to get
Mm.
dry. Yeah. Parties wasn't the same. They started moving things
Yeah,
out.
it was over.
It was getting dry. Even down to the music. Like, so
It was over. Yep. So yeah, that's
no,
that. But we gonna get to more of these tales. We gonna get to more of these
definitely,
tales.
definitely.
But remember, y'all, tune in the dance talk. All the greats is showing up. Everybody's showing up, and big ups to everybody stepping on the platform and sharing their stories. Again, this is your boy Moonwalker Swizz. I'm here with the Brooklyn Dawn, Mike. Holla at him, hit him up. We over
Okay,
and
so
out.
I bye.